there, welcome back to my channel. On this channel, we talk about all things music ed, especially ways to switch things up in your elementary music classroom to enrich your students' experiences beyond the music. I'm here to help you understand and implement the mindset that sometimes doing things not by the book is okay. The things I do with my students help them see their full potential. They help them realize that music is for them, even though they might not see themselves as musical right away. And they also help me build really strong relationships with my students and even with my colleagues. If you come from a non-traditional musical or teaching background like me, you might be interested in my email list. I'm going to leave the link below. It's the A Different Musician community where I send weekly emails about tips and tricks, advice, anecdotes, lesson plans, materials, all that kind of stuff to help you enrich your students' experiences beyond just the music. Now, I'm really excited about today's video. Today's video is about 3 different musical concepts and activities that you can implement as a general education teacher, so like a first grade teacher, a kindergarten teacher, a second grade teacher, to help bring more arts and music into your classroom. Now, you might be thinking, I have enough already, I don't need more stuff, but I'm hoping that these can be really seamless additions to what you've already got. They certainly connect to skills that you are for sure going to be hitting on in kindergarten, first grade, and probably second grade as well. But I'm also talking to gen ed teachers who may be asked to be teaching music in their classrooms. Maybe the arts program at your school was cut, maybe there is no music class or music teacher, and you as the gen ed teacher are being asked to teach music too. Or, hey, we're gonna just pop you into this room during elective time and you're just gonna run a music elective. And you might have no idea what to do or where to start. So I'm gonna get you started today with 3 really awesome and different musical activities that you can do in a gen ed classroom, or if you have a gen ed background and you're being asked to do something musical with your students. The first thing I'm gonna say that you can definitely do is stuff with rhythm. And please don't say, I don't have a sense of rhythm, I have 2 left feet, I this or that or the other. Okay. So I want you to get out of that mindset. I want you to start to think more like music is a skill that I can learn and develop and become better at. You don't need to be like a professional musician to start implementing these concepts. But certainly the more comfortable you are with them, the more natural you're going to see them in front of your kids, and the more they're going to enjoy themselves, and the more they're going to learn. So rhythm. Let's define rhythm, right? So rhythm and beat. This is the way I would define it for kindergartners, and this is the way I'm just going to define it for you as someone who may not have a musical background. So you may, you probably know the concept of like rhythm and beat, right? So beat is like the backbone of the music, and the beat stays the same. It stays steady the whole time, right? In lots of music. Some music doesn't have a beat, but for our purposes, let's just say the beat is the backbone of the music. It's the pulse that stays steady. It doesn't always stay at the same tempo or speed, but it certainly stays steady because music can slow down and speed up. It's like your heartbeat. So if you want to find the beat of a piece of music, you're going to feel for that steady pulse. And most of us can do this. Now, I'm just generating a moderate beat here. That is a beat. This is still a beat. It's just speeding up. And this is still a beat, even though it's slowed down. So you can imagine that if that was a heartbeat, maybe I was walking, then jogging, and then I'm cooling my body down. So a beat is like a heartbeat. You can even call it the heartbeat if you want. Rhythm, however, is going to have or involve different patterns of long and short sounds. So you think of it like if your heart suddenly was going like this, you'd probably think, yikes. That's not normal. But in music, of course, that's totally normal, right? We have rhythm, we have different patterns of long and short sounds. And those long and short sounds fit within that steady pulse, that steady beat. So the rhythm is fancier, it's different patterns of long and short. You can even think short, short, long, 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 short, 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 long, 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 short, short, long. If you really want to boil this down, then think of it in the most simplistic terms. So beat is steady, rhythm is different patterns that change up, and you can think of those patterns as having 2 basic units, long and short, where 2 shorts fit into a long. So you can think about it like fries and burger. So you might think of it as though fries, 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 fries over and over again is your beat. And you can take fries and burger and put them together and make different patterns that are your rhythms. Burger, fries, 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 burger, burger, fries. And that's actually what you're going to start to do with your students. So at the very basic level, if you want to like put music on and have students find the beat, great, fabulous. I would show them the beat first and have them follow you, or no, that's what I would do. Yeah, especially if you're in kindergarten and just starting out and being like, let's learn about beat today. I would make sure that you're solid with that concept and then have them match you for a while. If you have things in your classroom that you can use to keep the beat, that's great. These are Lumi sticks. I bought them on many music teachers' recommendations, so I haven't personally tried them with students yet, but these ones are hollow and they come in 4 different colors. So if you have money to invest in instead of Lumi sticks, that would be great. If you don't, if you only have enough for half your students or a quarter of your students, have them sit in a circle, pass them out. So you have a pattern going where you have like sticks, no sticks, no sticks, no sticks, sticks, no sticks, no sticks, and then you can rotate so that everyone gets a chance. You can also sort them out and have them by color if you don't have enough, or if you want to reduce the volume in your room. So finding the beat of music. Cool, awesome, wonderful. That's very basic, right? What about if you want to get students started with rhythm though? Well, okay, we're gonna take those 1 and 2 syllable words like burger and fries, or you could do cupcake and chips. You could do, why can't I think of anything anymore? Cheese and pickles. So you're going to be the call and your students are going to be the echo. And this is like a 3 to 5 minute routine. You know, you could just start your rhythm lesson off, or your rhythm section of your music lesson, or your whatever lesson, or your day with just some echoing. Let's see, pickles, pickles, cheese, cheese. Now, if your voice and the sticks match, that's your rhythm, right? We want to be careful that you don't do pickles, pickles, cheese, 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 pickles, pickles, pickles. Notice how when I say pickles, I am only hitting once, even though pickles has 2 syllables. That means that I'm doing the beat. You can do that. Just be careful that if you have students echoing things back to you, if you want them to echo the rhythm, their sticks and their voice match. Pickle, pickle, cheese, 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 pickle, cheese. That's the rhythm. That's matching the rhythm. But if they're just doing this over whatever you're saying, that's the beat. And that's great, but make sure they're doing the thing you want them to be doing. This has really strong connections to ELA. I frequently use lessons like this when I am being observed in kindergarten and 1st grade, and I'm always getting great feedback because it's got that connection to language. If you're doing things with syllables, if you are, I'm not a gen ed teacher, but that's generally what my administrators and my observers kind of connect to, is that it's this language element that you're connecting with these kind of lessons. So that's cool. I have a bunch of activities that are a little more, well, they're sorting activities. They're sorting activities. They're called cut and sorts. I'll leave the link below, but I'll put some footage in here, I think, of how they work. So you have a bunch of different words that are either 1 or 2 syllables, and your students are going to sort them. Basically, they are sorting by syllable, but if you're going to connect this to music, they can sort by, now you might not know musical notation, but it's fine because I have 3 different sorting templates you can use. I have dot notation, where they can sort them into 1 or 2 dots, meaning 1 sound or 2 sounds. I have stick notation. I also have note head notation. I'm not going to get into all those specifics right now of what those different things are, but if you are trying to have a musical lesson and you don't know music notation, I would just use the dot version. The dot version, just, okay, burger, that's 2 claps, 2 dots. And you can start stringing these words together and make different, make different patterns, make different raps. You can do food, you can do, I have a whole bunch of themes, like I have holiday themes, there's a weather one, there are animal ones. Check those out. Those are great centers. Those are great class activities. They're great if you're going to split your students up and sort of do like individualized or personalized learning, but I will definitely leave those below. Rhythm is just, there's a lot you can do with it, and don't be afraid to repeat. So if you are doing a call and echo with like burger and fries one day, do pickles and cheese or pickles and chips, or whatever I said before. Fish and chips, that doesn't work, never mind. Do the same concept, like do the echoing again the next day. Just change your words. Repetition and consistency are key. Don't be afraid to repeat. A second thing that you can do with your students, if you are not a music teacher, but you're still being asked to do some musical things with your students for whatever reason, is something called SQUILT. I did not make this up. This is a thing you can look up online, but SQUILT stands for Super Quiet, Uninterrupted Listening Time. I love SQUILT for a lot of reasons. One, it's a great activity to practice patience, to practice critical listening, to practice imagining, to practice calming your body, and just being a little more introspective, I love SQUILT, and I do SQUILT with kindergartners. We basically listen to some music for a short amount of time. I'm talking starting at maybe 15 seconds, 10 seconds, and building up over a few sessions to maybe 40 seconds or maybe even a minute, depending on the piece of music. But during SQUILT, I would ask your students to close your eyes or pick a spot to just focus on. Pick if you have like different posters in your room, or if you have a rug with circles on it, or something that they can just focus on as they listen for 15 seconds. 15 seconds. I would suggest starting with instrumental music, classical music. There are so many really awesome pieces of classical music that are not the typical like Bach or Mozart, and I don't know, just there's so much instrumental music out there that is so interesting and inspiring, and I feel like classical music gets a bad rap, especially among people who don't know it, and I understand that, I get that, but there's so much beautiful instrumental music out there that really is ideal for SQUILT. So you explain the activity. We are going to listen to this piece of music for 10 seconds, and we're going to be super quiet. We're not going to stop. We're not going to laugh. We're not going to do any of that. This will take practice, so be patient with them as they're learning how to be patient with themselves. And we're going to listen to this piece of music, and after 10 seconds, we're going to stop and turn and talk about what we were imagining in our heads. And if that is too big a concept, like, I could be imagining anything right now. Yeah, that's probably not as freeing as you might think it is, especially for younger kids. You might give them the name of the piece. So Grieg, Edvard Grieg, the Norwegian composer, is great for this. I have a whole blog post and another video. I have 2 videos about using his music for SQUILT. But he's the one who did Hall of the Mountain King. Bum 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 bum. The one you hear at Halloween, da 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 da. And also, ya da 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 da. But so much of his music is it's so evocative. So I'm gonna Grieg, I'll leave his name below. But tell them the name of the piece, like March of the Trolls. That's one I use a lot, March of the Trolls. So they already have an idea of what they're going to be thinking of, but you can give them some springboards. What is the troll you're imagining doing? Is the troll with friends? Is the troll by himself? Is the troll doing something mischievous, or is the troll doing something kind and sweet and good? Giving them these musical springboard type questions, kind of like STEM sentences, will help them focus their creativity and their thinking. Tell them the name if you can, if it's got an evocative name, or say, I want you to picture being outside. Here's what we're going to listen to, 15 seconds. Afterwards, we're going to turn and talk and say to each other what we saw as we were outside on our journey. And you can build this up. You can go, sometimes we go for longer than a minute. I have classes, maybe not kindergarten, but first grade definitely, who say like, let's keep going, let's do 2 minutes. Don't give them too much at once. Let them practice that skill of patience and listening too, and really listening. Yeah. If you want more information about SQUILT, if you want something a little more like give me a step-by-step program, whatever, like I don't have that yet, but I certainly can help you out and like make something for you, make a resource for you if you're interested in this. Just let me know in the comments below or contact me on Instagram. SQUILT is a fantastic way. This is a 5-minute thing. 5 minutes from start to finish, like done with your discussions, whatever. SQUILT is a great way to be musical with your students if you are not personally like musically confident with your skills. Okay, the third thing you can do in your classroom, in your gen ed classroom, if you're being asked to do musical things and you are not a musician, is book-based lessons. You probably have books in your room already. You may not have these books, but if you have a budget for books, or if you have a library, go grab some of these books. So I'm just looking at a list here if you see me looking away. I've got 4 books I want to share with you that are super awesome for music lessons that are book-based. So the first 2 are books that you can add either sound effects or songs or chants or instruments, something to that already that naturally inspire them. So the first one is Abiyoyo by Pete Seeger, and I think you can find the recording of him doing this on Spotify. So if you have students who just like to sit and listen, and maybe you yourself are just like, I've been on all day, I cannot, he's got a recording of this. So I'm pretty sure you can just find that easily online. But the book Abiyoyo by Pete Seeger is about a giant, and it's just out. It's got these really great spots for sound effects, like the father casting magical spells, or the giant stomping into town, or someone falling off a chair. There are moments in there that can really inspire really great sounds that you can either make with things in the classroom that students can use their voices for, that you maybe can use like shakers, or if you have simplistic instruments like that, absolutely you can do that. Abby Yo-Yo, I know, does have a song that goes with it, and if you want to sing it to your students, great. If you can read music, like it's written in the book for you, but you can also go listen to Pete Seeger's version of it so you can sing it yourself. You also don't have to sing it at all. Another piece of advice I'm going to give you if you're a gen ed teacher is, so before I was like, think of yourself as a musician, it's a skill to learn, so is singing. Singing is a skill you can learn, and if you sing to kids and you look happy and like you're enjoying yourself, I think they are not going to care what you sound like. As a music teacher, I want to model a good voice, and I took lessons and I know that I'm a good singer. Don't let that stop you from singing to your students. Sing with your students. Just make sure you're singing in a high enough place in your voice for them. That's probably another video for another day, but we don't want to sing down here even though it's comfortable for you. Bring it up a little bit into that head voice area. I think I'm going off on a tangent right now. Anyway, a second book that you can use for a sound effect edition book is Little Taco Truck by Tanya Valentine and Jorge Martin. I have a whole video on this book too, so I'm going to link that below. Go check it out. It's such a cute book. I found it one day in the library when I was there with my daughter, who's just about a year old, and we're going through the stacks, and I just pick it out. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. It's just about a bunch of taco trucks that all have limited space on the street, and the original taco truck is getting frustrated because he was there first, and oh my gosh, what do I do? How does this book relate to music? Well, I've got a whole video on it, but basically you can turn each page into either some kind of cool chant, or you can add a sound effect or a little theme music for each taco truck. It's really cute, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be something as simple as taco truck, here he comes. Taco truck, taco truck, here he comes. That's it. You don't have to, you don't have to be this, amazing. That's fine. That is fine. It's a great starting point. Little Taco Truck, go check out that video. Another book you can do, and I guess the category here would be historical books, biographical books, but I have a book that's Rap-a-Tap-Tap, Here's Bojangles, Think of That. It's about Bill Bojangles Robinson, the black tap dancer who starred in a bunch of movies, including several with Shirley Temple. So you can read the Rap-a-Tap-Tap book, which is very rhythmic. You can show students some videos of Bojangles Robinson. I showed my students some videos of him with Shirley Temple. They just connected with her because she was like a child, and so were they. So teaching students about musicians or dancers or, even I guess like actors, because at some point they're probably going to be doing something musical. But there are so many biographical books that are accessible to young people, and you can, like, there's a book about Misty Copeland. She's another one that would be great. Anytime you're showing students a video, especially, any video, but especially videos that are probably like from movies of yore, from a while ago, you have to vet them first. There are a lot of problematic things that you can find on YouTube that like, oh, I didn't even like this. Vet the things you show students ahead of time. Yes, please do that. So anyway, biographical books. Then the third category of books you might want to choose for your musical lessons are books that teach about musical concepts indirectly and not explicitly. So the book Mortimer by Robert Munsch is about a boy who will not go to sleep. He's upstairs and he keeps singing his song, and he annoys his family and his friends, and they keep coming up the stairs and saying, be quiet, and then going down the stairs. Up and down the stairs, I always connect that to up and down on a xylophone. If you don't have a xylophone, you can use, if you have iPads or even Chromebooks, you can go to a website called playxylo.com, which will have a xylophone on it, and you can clearly see like small bars, bigger bars. I think that's important here. You don't just want to use a phone where students can't see the connection to up and down. And by up and down, I mean ascension and descension in pitch. So if you're going to go from, low to high, when the characters go up the stairs, bum, 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 And then they come down the stairs. You want to go high to low, bum, 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 using a real xylophone, using, if you have a keyboard in your classroom, using playxylo.com. Every time characters go up and down the stairs, you go up and down on your either physical or digital instrument. So students are learning about this musical concept of high and low, of up or down. And then you can do a game after this where you can have students like freeze if you're going up or move if you're going down. There are probably games you can find online for free that help teach these concepts, but I know if you're already, you know, a kindergarten teacher and you have your stuff to do, and this is just, you know, additions, extra stuff that you're going to weave into your reading time or your ELA time or your calm time, don't overcomplicate it. You know, it doesn't have to be astounding. It doesn't. It has to be fun. You have to be joyful when you're doing this. You have to be enthusiastic, but it doesn't have to be profound, right? I mean, to students, like, kids can find profoundness in simple things. I mean, simple gestures and simple experiences can actually be really profound and formative for them. So, you know, you don't have to be a musician. I'm sure we're all musicians, right? You don't have to be a musician to give your students really enriching experiences in your gen ed classroom that are musically related. There we go. If you found this video helpful, go share it with a friend who is not a musician, but still wants to incorporate some musical things into their gen ed classroom. I think all of these things, rhythm, SQUILT, book-based lessons would be great for K1 and 2, absolutely. Check the comments below. I'm gonna leave a link to my email list there if you want more content like this. You know, I send a weekly email to my different musician community all about things that help enrich your students' experiences beyond just the music. Using non-traditional methods, using things that are not necessarily by the book, but are still really fun and joyful and meaningful. I'll leave that link below. Like I said, go check it out. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. I am a mom of a almost 1-year-old, so I'm trying my best to get content out there. So, you know, I'm not gonna bombard you with stuff, but I'm trying, and yeah, you know, just happy music making. If you have any questions at all, you can reach out to me on Instagram or you can email me. Happy music making.